Hey everybody! For today's video, I will be covering standard deviation, variance, and z-score. Now, the standard deviation is known as the measure of the amount of variance in a data set, basically how different each value is from the mean or the average. This over here is its official formula. It's the summation of the difference between a value minus the mean
squared
divided by the number of values radical. You will probably not need to know this formula, but just in case you'd like to know, here it is. Now moving on to the variance, it's simply the standard deviation squared. That's all you need to know about it. Now let's look at a few questions and see how different types of data will be presented and how to find the standard deviation and variance for each. For 27-28, you just have a list of numbers. You insert it into your calculator. There should be a video explaining how to use the calculator in order to find the standard deviation. And you will have the option to pick between two different types of standard deviation. Third one, which looks like this, and the fourth option, which looks like this. The third option is your population standard deviation, and this one is your sample. You'll be using population standard deviation because it's just a random list of numbers. It does not come from a bigger group of data, unless they specifically specify that someone took this sample from something else. For example, Alice bought 10 books from Kinokuniya. The 10 books she bought is a sample from all the books in the store, and that is a sample from all the books it was manufactured from. So you'll end up using this option instead for that scenario. But for now, you'll probably just end up using this, and make sure you do, because you will get slightly different answers and you may end up getting it wrong if it is, for example, a written question. Or maybe you'll have a multiple choice and you'll have two very similar answers. It could be the difference between population standard deviation and sample standard deviation. Now, okay, you found standard deviation, but you need the variance. You just square it and you'll get your answer. Simple as that. 29 and 30 is pretty much the same thing, except it has a frequency list. Now, although it says it has a number of cars, it never explicitly stated it was taken out from a bigger group of cars. So you still use the third option in this case. So same process, find standard deviation, then square it in order to find the variance. Now let's look at question 31 and 32. Here you have continuous data, so intervals of numbers instead of just a simple list of numbers. When you insert the values into your calculator, you have to pick the midpoint or just the average of the interval. So in this case, it's between 15 to 20 is 17.5, between 20 and 25 is 22.5, and so on and so forth. And then you calculate like normal, as if these were the actual data points. Find the standard deviation, then square it in order to find the variance. Be careful about the significant figures, because our school is incredibly annoying when it comes to those. Now moving on to z-score. You will maximum have 1 or 2 questions, and it will probably be a direct application of this formula right here. This is a number in the data set minus the mean divided by the standard deviation. The question will probably come like this one over here. What is the z-score of 6? 6 would be our x in this scenario. If the mean equals 4 and the standard deviation is 2, just directly apply this formula. So 6 minus 4 divided by 2, and you'll get 1. That's your z-score. That's pretty much it. I hope you guys learned something, and thank you for watching.